Many Genshin Impact players ask the question, many gacha gamers ask the question, is it worth it to play Punching Gray Raven? In the new year of 2022, Punching Gray Raven, or PGR, is a mobile action role-playing game developed and published by Kuro Games. It was first released in China on December 5th, 2019, and Japan, it got a release date a year later in 2020. And then the global release, which is what I will be talking about today, came out on July 16th, 2021. With the game already being a few years old and the global version pretty far behind but more accessible to the rest of the world, we'll go over the good and the bad of Punching Gray Raven, and then you can decide whether or not it's worth it for you to play. Punching Gray Raven is a game designed for those who like action games, mobile games, also ones that require team building, character collecting, co-op with your friends, being free-to-play friendly, and a rich, ever-developing story. Let's start with team building. Within PGR, there are different elemental types along with the physical damage. Elemental types are as follow. You have fire, lightning, ice, and dark. With each elemental type, you have different types of memories. The memories can go on to your characters, which help them get stronger and give them different types of bonuses like increased damage of the specific element types that I talked about earlier, healing bonuses, basic attack increase. When you level up memories, your base stats like HP, attack, defense, and like crit rate go up alongside that as well. Though elemental types can't crit, most characters also have part of their base stats and kit have some sort of physical damage on them, as one of the main fire characters that you can use, Karenina, has ability that lets her basic attacks that normally do physical damage turn in fire after completing the correct requirement in doing so. Expanding upon characters such as Karenina, like I had mentioned, she is the fire damage dealer. After choosing who your damage dealer is going to be, you can equip them with different types of memories, helping to either buff or debuff that certain stat. Like you can give the character increased attack for that type of element, give them the ability to debuff that type of element that they're attacking, and so on and so forth. A standard for probably early game and your first time playing, you're going to look to build a team revolving around one attacker, one support character, and one tank character. The tank character are usually there to help debuff the enemy so your attacker can do more damage when on the field, and your support character are mostly there to heal, or at least the support characters that I tend to use are the healers. But regardless if you are a new player or a returning player, just picking up your favorite character and developing a team around them can still be beneficial regardless of how good they are. As long as you invest into them, they should help you with the majority of the content in the game, and then you can start expanding onto other elemental types to help you score higher in different game modes that give increased damage of that elemental type to your team. Moving on to the characters and character collecting, there is not a lot to choose from at the moment for the global version, as we're missing pretty much half the roster that the China server has, which is still fine because there's a lot to look forward to in the future in terms of characters. Not all the elemental types are entirely filled yet, because recently we just got the first ice damage dealer in the game, and actually just the first ice character in the game. So the ice weather in different game modes, there wasn't actually a character that particularly excelled at it because there wasn't that type in the game before. Luckily, if you are still a new player or even a returning player, there should still be an S rank picker for your first S rank character in the game from the global launch way back in July. So if you're planning on even picking up this game, better to start now so you can at least get your S rank picker so you can have it in the future and decide which character you would like to try and mess with, or fill out your team composition going further in the game. With your first S rank character out of the way, how do you get more? Well, there are multiple types of banners. You have the standard banner of both weapon and characters, and then you have an uprate weapon for new and exclusive weapons, where you can choose the weapon you want to focus on, and 30 pulls for weapon banners, you get a guaranteed 6-star weapon. And for 60 pulls on standard banner, you get a guaranteed S rank. All S ranks that were previously uprated or new go right to the standard banner right after their launch, so if you miss them, you can still have a chance to get them later, or wait for their return uprate banner on a different time. With the release of a brand new S rank character, they come out with 2 different banners, which is a little odd. Why is there 2? Well, there's one mostly tailored to the heavy spenders, where there's a higher base rate of getting them, but the pity is 80 to 100 pulls. Though, if you're a low spender or free to play, there's a banner for you where it's guaranteed in 60 pulls. Though the rate on the 60 guaranteed banner is lower, it has that safety net for your black cards, which is the in-game currency that you use and earn from doing your weeklies and your dailies to help pull for characters and other equipment, or even restore your own stamina. At the start of a version update with an S rank character as the premier banner, which should not also feature a brand new S rank character on the next update, you should be able to accumulate enough black cards by the update after the second update, so the third one, to start to roll and get a guaranteed S rank character, assuming you did as much as you could and got enough black cards. And if you want even higher chances, there's always monthly cards that you can spend for. There is no battle pass at the moment, and I don't think there is one currently for the Chinese and the Japanese servers, so the monthly card is a pretty good option if you want to get a little bit extra black cards per month, which could always be good if you want to get your S ranks faster, or even roll for the weapons at some point later. Moving along to co-op, if you want to play with your friend, there are brand new permanent game modes and permanent game modes in the future where you and your friend can play together and acquire materials that you may need at a later time, or early on you can get some 5-star weapons by doing certain co-ops. I don't play co-op that much, so I don't have much to say about it, but I am interested in the future game modes that they're coming out later, where they have even a Monopoly type game mode that I think might be really fun. When I played the most recent story chapter, overall the time it took me to finish, start to finish, while reading everything, it took about 4 or 5 hours. Yeah, I was pretty surprised too. It was probably one of the longest story chapters that we had, which was most recently 12. Now, because the other servers are very far ahead of global, there's so much story in the future to go, and though the story isn't fully voiced much at all right now, sometimes they'll chip in with a voice line. It is presented in a visual novel type format, where if you've played Fire Emblem games or Tales games, you kind of know what I'm talking about. You'll see what I mean. The story so far has a lot of memorable moments that I as a player have enjoyed, where they have been emotional, intense, just great character development and interactions between the different types of teams and how they all interact with each other, and just the overall arching story. And I'm very interested and excited to see where it's going to go in the future, and I know it's coming because there's tons of stuff that Global has yet to see, and that should be exciting for when we get that. Now, after you heard me talking about how long Chapter 12 was, you're probably thinking, is the whole game going to take me like 4 hours, 5 hours a day to play? No, it's not. May that have been the story? Yes, so you might have to sit down or just take breaks here and there when doing the story. The overall daily tasks and time required now to complete them is very, very fast. If for that particular day you are not working on your Phantom Pain or your War Zone, which are your main sources of getting your black cards for your characters, the speed that which you can complete all your tasks and now currently dump pretty much all the stamina that you have for the day may take anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes, depending on what you end up doing for the day, because you can just take all your energy, put it all on one mission, get it done, and then pretty much leave. If you're worried about overall time constraint, you don't need to worry too much, as you'll get to a point where you don't need to spend so much time playing day in and day out. So in conclusion, should you play PGR in 2022? My answer, sure, why not? There's no negative in playing this game since it is free to play. The time required to do the game overall has very minimal time constraint. So, can you main this game? No, and I don't think you would want to. Though, it is a fun game, and yes, it would be nice to play and upgrade a lot of your characters, because that's a problem that I have, is that I don't feel I can upgrade all the characters when I want them and have them upgraded enough to where they're viable in in-game content. Though as maybe a secondary game to either your main gacha game or any other console game that you might be playing, the experience that you will have with PGR will overall be positive, which is good. As you follow the story with Lucia and the Grey Raven squad, as you learn more about them and their relationships with each other and other characters within the story, will be something that you might want to be a part of. Armed with a roadmap for the future of 2022, you can decide whether or not you want to be a part of it. Armed with brand new beach skins coming and a collaboration with Nier, there is a lot of positive stuff for this game moving forward.
この戦い、一緒に勝ちましょう。指揮官。